Hello everyone, this is Marta. Welcome to the Musical Solutions on my channel Musical Moments with Marta. Today I'm going to be teaching Vivaldi's Spring, the concerto, which has 3 movements. On this video it will be just the first movement, and then it will follow with the other 2 movements. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you find this information helpful. And let's get to it. So this is La Primavera, which is usually the first concerto that is played in the set of 4 seasons. And I have measure numbers here. If you have any questions, I'll put the score that I have below this video. You can also find different videos up on top from time to time. So I hope you will check them out as well. So here's the concerto, the Spring, which is in E major. So we will go ahead and start. So it starts with the nice playful dance. So the way I started, I hook that third G sharp, so that there's a nice bounce to that theme. So then I retake. Then it's piano. And back to forte. Piano. So I will play the piano a little bit higher on the bow so that we don't lift the bow as much. Then we go to the trills. Now I'm playing from the Bernreiter edition, but I don't do everything exactly the way it's printed here because they are slightly unusual bowings. They're not really bowings. In measure, let's see, the measure numbers here are a little bit confusing. So in the Bernreiter 2000 edition, for some reason I changed those numbers a little bit. I was accommodating another edition, but in the part it says measure 14 and 15. In measure 15, we have repeated Bs, 8-note B notes. So I'm hooking 2 at a time. Just gives it a nice bounce to it. And I go. I like to play that as a harmonic here. Nice light. And that, because it's a half step from E to D sharp, it's pretty easy to play that from a harmonic 4 to the solid 4. Okay, then we have measure 18, which is a measure where the other strings are playing these bird calls, these are bird calls, starting measure 13. So now in measure 19, and we continue imitating. So we have spiccato, kind of off the string, like a slurred staccato, but really, it's really lifted off the string. I play that as a harmonic. You can alternate if you wish. So, as in typical Baroque edition, Baroque music, there isn't a lot of dynamic written. There aren't a lot of dynamics written. So, we are a little bit freer to add some things. We have to add dynamics. So, in measure 22 to 23, I am making a crescendo. A nice dialogue with other violins. So this trill, I want to make sure that I finish before the rest. In measure 24, there are rests on the downbeat and the third beat, and then the solo violin plays in between, plays on the second and fourth beat with the trill. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to get off of that trill when the rest happens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Except I came out wrong, but anyway. Okay, so in measure 24, it's actually up bow. So what I do here is I play harmonic, and then I play a solid note with the second finger, and then 2 portato kind of separate notes on the 2 E's with a nice little diminuendo, and then we come back to the main theme. It's actually kind of a part of the theme, but not the initial melody. It's not that, but it's the motive after. So I go up, down, that's a nice little bounce there. So now we go to the section that is trickling water, trickling springs, and this is measure 31. In some editions it's letter B, in this edition it's actually letter C. So as long as it's measure 31, most likely. This is the trickling water or trickling springs. You can see that it's kind of flowing, right? Flowing, but with little slurs, 2 notes slurred, which then gives you that sense of trickling. So it's not like really continuous flowing waterfall, but it's more like little drops. So we don't want to go like that. What I would suggest is to play a little bit separation in between. So there's some fingerings here. I would do a third position for the measure 31, and then measure 32 we will have to go to first position, and then measure 33 shift again to third position, back to first position, back to third. So you can see that there's some dynamics that I'm making, like little swells every 2 beats. I think it's nice to do that rather than just playing it evenly. Then we come upon letter C, which is actually in this edition there's no letter, but it's measure 37 in the Bernreiter 2000 edition. And the edition is it's an edition by Christopher Hogwood. So measure 37, we go to this little section. Now the cellos and basses have tira, tira, tira. They do that pattern we just finished in the violins, and the violins play half notes. But it still needs to be phrased nicely. So when you go up, go a little bit louder, and then come back down. And then the cellos and basses have 16th notes there. So we have to listen to that. And then pick up to measure 41. We're back to that main theme idea. I'm going there to third position. So something sounds a little bit out of tune there. So thunder is here, yes? Measure 44. Now this scale, make sure that it's not an A sharp. At the end is A natural. And then measure 46 continues with the 30 seconds. So occasionally I will not play the second half of measure 46 depending how I feel, how ready I feel to play measure 47, because measure 47 is many positions up, and we don't want to sacrifice that interest at 47 by worrying about the bottom, that bottom A at measure 46. So as you probably figured, the orchestra is playing this also, so we don't have to worry about necessarily finishing measure 46 as a soloist. But you know, it depends on you, how comfortable you are jumping up there, making that measure 47 really strong. So this is measure 46. So if you can find that real easily. And that wasn't a very good B, but I'm actually used to stopping there. And then I play. Okay, so this is the storm, thunderstorm, a fun section here for the soloist. I have a little bit of a buzz going on here. Okay, so I think it may be my necklace. So this is an E major arpeggio in an inversion, so we start on B, G sharp, B, E. Nice and easy movements. Don't work too hard. Don't lift your shoulder or anything like that. Just let the elbow work its magic. So, especially since you have to cross strings so much, the wrist needs to be a little flexible as well. Just a little bit. So I just shift up. I start each one of those patterns with the first finger, so that we have the fingers ready for the entire arpeggio. Then I shift up to first finger. So this one is F sharp major arpeggio. So we have an A sharp here. Don't overplay, you know, make sure that you're being economical about string crossing here. I would practice it slurred. That E is added the seventh of the chord. Okay, then we shift up again to the D sharp. And in this case, we have a G sharp major arpeggio. So one more shift to the first finger. This time we have C sharp minor arpeggio, nice and close. So we're not using fourth finger here, but third finger. But then goes down to first finger again, to D sharp. And this is measure 52 now. Now another shift down to C sharp, first finger. F sharp minor. Another shift down to a B. And again. So you have to be sure that you're reading the chords correctly. Some of them are a little bit tricky. With the D sharp in measure 53. And back down again to G sharp. D sharp. I love that part here. Getting ready for that dominant, which is G sharp major going to C sharp minor key in measure 56. So we are in E major. The key of this movement is E major, of this concerto. And then this section coming up at 56, which is a tutti, is going to be in C sharp minor, which is the relative minor. So finishing this off in measure 55. So the fingering is not complicated, but it's very harmonic. So you have to be aware of where the thirds are, where the fourths are, the intervals, and also listening to those harmonies. I would practice it, like I said earlier, with the slur. So I would go, let's see, maybe measure 53. You're going to be able to hear the intonation better, and also helps your arm, so you're not working quite so much. Gives yourself a little break, and then also it gives you, you know, the string crossings and everything is a little simpler when you slur it for practice. Also, you can hear the intonation better because when you slur, you have overtones more. It's a little more ringing, more connected, so you hear it almost like a chord. You can also practice it as double stops. Let's still measure 53, then going down to, so you can slur. If you have trouble hearing that, then practice double stops. It takes some time to listen carefully. Okay, going on to 56. So this is in minor. I'll go to second position here. Little solo. Again, measure 59, which in some editions is letter E. Canto d'uccelli, which is singing of the birds again, song of the birds. And in this case, I'm also hooking these 2 notes at a time. So just like I did in measure 15 with those B's. So second finger, or whatever fingerings you want, but actually different fingerings. I would be in second position, measure 59, so that's first finger. Then I go in the next measure, measure 60, second finger, then first finger on A sharp, second, and first on B sharp. So then we can trill on that C sharp nice with second and third finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And here I like to play this note, the down bow in measure 63, as if there were no tie. I've heard that done that way, and I like it just on that first beat, not the next one. But that one is hooked. This one is tied. So let's see. I'm trying to remember if I separate that one as well. You can play around with this area because it is very awkward how the bow, where you are on the bow. And especially in measure 65 where you have to go very, very fast. It's almost like a trill, right? So starting in measure 63, so in measure 64, you could divide that half notes into 2 bows. And then go. But that may be too much, so. But then you're up at the upper half a little bit too much. So I'm trying to remember what I do. Sometimes I think I alter it in different ways depending on how I feel at the moment. So let's start again in measure 61 and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's probably a good version. I think that was what I do mostly. 64, so that would be a down bow on that C sharp, half note C sharp in the third beat. And then you can tie that like it's written. And then I do 2 bows in measure 65 at the end. And then we'll have 2 T. retake, retake, echo, and more. So here it says solo in my part, measure 70. So you come up bow here, how I do it. So then I have to hook this one. Again, just like that little trickle in measure 31, we're just taking a little bit of spaces in between these slurs. So it's all playful. There, 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 there. So 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. So a little rubato there. So this is the end of the first movement of Vivaldi's Spring. I'm going to put another video in the corner right there, or there, I'm not sure, that will lead you to another Vivaldi season in case you've had enough of this particular one. On the next video there will be second movement and then third movement of this concerto. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends and students or whoever would like to learn more about this wonderful piece. And I'll see you on the next video.